Hello and welcome to the Bnei Yissaschar. It is the Hasidic book of Kabbalah, and we've been learning it for the last few months, of Nissan and Passover and Exodus, as the beginning of all things, because it's the first month traditionally, and it goes right to the beginning of all patterns. And the first three patterns are the three mothers, and the next 7 patterns are the 7 doubles, and the next 12 patterns are really where time and space sort of live. And I'd said a lot of the cartoon project describing the initial 3, and that was found stupid, because astrology is so stupid, right? And it's very frustrating how much it works. And I think the reason something can be stupid and work is because elemental truths and patterns, and just the way things go, which traditionally is identified with and a head, everything that lives, and then there's a sort of givia, sort of in the middle, sort of space where there really is water, and there really is fire everywhere. There really is sort of respiration in the middle. Just a quick piece, speaking of resolution, because we've been learning on Cancer and Leo, on Tammuz and Av, in the context of Reuven and Shimon, in the context of seeing and hearing, in the context of the right and left eyes, in the context of a lot of things. And here I want to just bridge it with what we started with, which is liberation and the beginning of things. As we started, when we started learning this, the springtime, Aries, Nissan, late March holiday, is identified with the beginning of invitation into just feeling and being free, which has to do with settling in and just speaking and being comfortable speaking. And there's something else in the summertime, which is sort of the opposite, or at least has been. The end of speaking and the beginning of listening. And the end feeling free and the beginning of being cast back on the road. This is traditionally exile and dispersive season, when contracts end, and there's less space made for people historically. This is the apocalypse season of the destruction of all the temples. And it has to do with the heat. Heat is really intense. It breaks things down. The cold can be a little much too. The wet can be a little much too. But the hot and dry are so much of where the lion thrives, because he's capable and can thrive and can share, as opposed to the springtime wetness of the bull and the sheep and the flocks. To this end, I just want to learn briefly one little piece with you guys to sort of explain a traditional bridge between the celebration of liberation, which is arrival, and the impending celebration of something bigger than arrival, bigger than freedom. I would say bigger than freedom, exactly, because freedom is all bigness, as we described. But let's say bigger than we could have known or even hoped on some level. This is Bnei Yissaschar's Mamrei Chodesh Tammuz Av, in the first mimer, but in the 9th piece, over on this. B'chiar Chaim Tishua v'Shalu Bnei Yisrael Yimor Yosdu Yalev Yomer Yudah Shimon Achiv Aleiti V'Gorali, and so on. After Joshua died, book of Joshua sort of ends. The entire composite tribe suddenly has a voice together, a voice of Judah, and it asks God, hey, who should go into the land right now? And God says, you should. And they're like, okay, come with me, my brother, into my lot. Judah, the entire tribe, says to Shimon, the entire tribe, without saying too much about the curses and blessings throughout the rest of the Bible, that Jacob gives Shimon and Yehuda, that Moses gives Shimon and Yehuda, or doesn't give. They don't really get a piece of the land. They don't really get a blessing. So Judah invites them, come with us. But this is strange. I can't. Things worth considering, sitting with, contemplating. מהו הצורך להשמיענו שביקש יהודה משמעון שילך עמו אשר כן עשה שמעון? What does the Bible give us by describing this transitional episode? That Judah should invite Shimon to walk with them. That's one thing. It's actually very weird and hard on Judah why they would. You need to bring back? You should, of course, ask God with you. And so Judah invites Shimon to come with them. That's a weird, even suspect thing to do. They asked, said, you should go first. He's like, cool, you want to come with me? That's weird. That's potentially insulting on a few levels. Why should he ask Shimon to come with him? His entire tribe invites this other tribe to come with them. Why should he invite him to come with him? Was he scared? Imagine someone offers you a job and you're like, can you do this? Help me do this. It's almost like you didn't think you could handle a job. Almost, right? Here's where it starts. Like we said before, Judah is very associated in most systems, especially this system, with Nissan, with the ram, with Aries. That's when the whole thing starts. This is where we started with. This is well established. Shimon, and Leo, and Av, is identified with Shimon, as we've described. Like we said, that first month is for freedom. And historically, this month is not. It's for failure. It's for breakdown. There's the breakdown of Tammuz, the breakdown of Shimon, which is just initial noticing what you couldn't do. And there's the breakdown of Av, of hearing, which gives way to noticing what time it is. Which gives way to rolling with the impact and finding things settle in, which is the main work of fasting and contemplating. It's just listening and just hearing. And it's funny to associate with Shimon, the lion. Connect it to this thing that's coming. I'm just going to skip down. It also happened in the book of Ezra. That Ezra, in chapter 7, 8, and 9, there's a whole thing in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah where the exodus from Babylon is associated with the exodus from Egypt. They leave Babylon on a march to Jerusalem in Nissan, in Aries in the springtime, and they arrive in Av. And this was a very incomplete arrival. The Second Temple and the nature of it is very incomplete. And in this way, It's always compared to the Exodus, which was relatively complete. Still feeling free from that initial Exodus, but not still feeling grounded from that initial Second Temple. הנה בעתיד במרב ימינו, בימי שיצאנו מארץ מצרים, יראנו נפלאות, בחודש שימון יהיה, יחדשו שיהודה לששון לשמחה שלמה, ישראל. But in the future, this summertime, and the future is not upon us, or it's not, that's the future for you. It's already happening, and there's still so much more of it, and it's actually going to be the main holiday. It's actually the main redemption. It's actually the main joy. And it's hard to even begin to want to describe how and why that's true, except that we feel it, where the summertime holiday really is the chance to let go and encounter each other from love, from concern, from sharing, from festival, from capacity, from security, as the way of the lion. Complete joy and complete celebration. And the dark days of morning in the summertime become like light forever. And so much of redemption is associated with the conquering lion of Judah in global sort of imagery. In global imagery. And part of the promise is that first like a sheep and then like a lion means that first out of slavery from Egypt, and then something bigger. And it's not going to annihilate the memory of what the first month is. It's just going to become the bigger deal. And in this way, he explains this is why Judah invites Shimon along and L'chaim.